This is the Infinite Receiving Podcast, helping conscious leaders like you tap into a wealth of abundance across all areas of your life and business. My name is Susie Ashworth. I am a single mom of 3 and author of the Sunday Times best-selling book, Infinite Receiving: Crack the Code to Conscious Wealth Creation and Finally Manifest Your Dream Life. On this show, I'll be sharing with you how you can upgrade your identity and your reality to create the life that you have been dreaming of. Because you are ready to be an infinite receiver. Hello, you gorgeous human beings. It is Susie Ashworth here, and you are listening to the Infinite Receiving Podcast. I was going to record this podcast about 45 minutes ago. And as I sat at the mic, I was really like, I know what it is that I want to say, but I do not feel energetically aligned with sharing this message right now. And there was a part of me that wanted to just override the feeling and just be like, get on with it. Like, this is the message of the day. You are going to share it. Stop whining. And I did actually start the podcast twice. And unsurprisingly, because I was off, it just fell off. And so I was going to postpone it. And then I thought, you know what you need to do here? You need to change your state. So change your state and then record the podcast. I went and got my headphones and I found a 15-minute Dr. Joe meditation, and I sat with it. And I allowed myself to get out of my body. I allowed myself to let go of the very low level stress impacting my field. And it's so interesting because if you look at my journal pretty much every single day, I'm like, I feel amazing. I feel amazing. I feel amazing. You know, some days it'll be like, I feel good, but by far the majority of days I feel amazing. And whilst, of course, I go in and out of that, I can't really remember the last time where I felt like a little bit aggy. And I've got my kids at home. It is half term. I've got their friends. They're trying to cook. They cannot cook. I'm just managing things. And I would say that because it is half term and I am working, maybe things are not optimal. And so that has been slightly impacting the way that I feel. Human Susie is being impacted by her environment. And why that is funny is because this episode is all about quantum Susie. And your name isn't Susie. It's not just about me. It's about you too. It's about how we can tap into the quantum field really easily to help us be an energetic match for the thing that we are manifesting. And so I really get the irony of the universe being like, if you want to talk about this, then let it come from a really true place. And so I'm really glad that I took the time to meditate and change my frequency so I could be really real with you. And I suppose the other thing that I want to say is that this is a practice. You know, I say this in the first few pages of Infinite Receiving, like I am still a student of the work. So there is no need to pedestal me whilst I have reached a level of expertise, having created what I have created in this world, which I am extraordinarily proud of myself for. I also recognize that the mastery of this work is a mountain. I still feel like I'm at those early stages. And I say that not from a place of false self-deprecation, which is another pattern I have been noticing of mine recently. Not even the humble brag, but just overly dimming my light. And again, it's another lesson from Infinite Receiving around knowing our greatness. And in some ways, shapes, and forms, I am so good at this. But I found myself in some new situations with some new people. And instead of really allowing myself to show up in my fullness, there was a little bit of dimming, which is just an old pattern. And again, I share this with you because I want you to know that you do not have to be perfect in order to understand these tools, use these tools, and get great results with these tools. And the game for us all is to remember that the number one dis-ease in this planet, in our human experience, is amnesia. It's forgetting who we are. It is forgetting that we are part of the quantum field. We are part of infinite intelligence. We are part of source creator. And because of that, that means that there are infinite possibilities for us. There are limitless possibilities for us as individuals when we follow our soul's calling, our soul's path. And the game of this is to, first of all, remember that we are part of source and the creator of all things. And the second part is remembering our magic. It's one thing to know that you are source. It's another thing to know that you can consciously co-create anything that you desire, specifically when it is in alignment with the soul's desire. And so this preamble is to say that I was sat down this morning before my day officially started, and I was just playing around with some new goals and intentions. And whenever I set myself a goal, I like it to be stretchy. I like it to create that sense of, oh, is this possible? And in the fact that it is stretchy, what happens then, the next step of my process is to write down all of the fears, all of the resistance, all of the beliefs that say that it is not possible. And so with this new goal, which was a monetary goal, the first two self-objections that came up were, I'm not ready, and there's just more work for me to do in order for me to be a match for that. And what was interesting for me is that from a 3D perspective, that is absolutely true. And this is the argument, and it really is an argument that I have with so many of my clients before they make the breakthrough. And it is why so many people who want to work with me or want to work with you, who you know have got the potential to absolutely kill it, is why so many of them don't make it to the start line, because they are looking at their life and operating from the factual place of the 3D. Like, if I were ready for the monetary goal that I had set myself, then I would already have it, right? I would already have it. And so the logical part of my mind that says you've got more work to do and you're not ready yet is true. And what is also true is that the logical part of our minds, for the most part, is focused on the 0.00001% of matter that we can actually see. My logical mind is totally disconnected from the fact that I am a multi-dimensional human being that is 99.9999999% energy. And so is yours, for the most part. And when we forget that we are 99.9999999% energy, we are forgetting that we are part of the quantum universe and the quantum field. We are part of, it's not even that we just have access to, but we are part of infinite intelligence. When I am only focused on what I can see, feel, touch, hear, and taste, I am discounting 99.9999999% of this universe. And that's silly, That is a muggle game to play. And I'm not a muggle, I'm a multidimensional human being. And I understand that magic and miracles are my birthright. So what is true also, alongside my 3-dimensional self, there is my multidimensional self. And my multidimensional self exists in the here and now and in the quantum field. And the quantum field is the invisible field of energy that is home to every single thought and possibility that will ever exist in this universe. There is nothing that I can think of that doesn't already exist in the infinite field of possibilities in the quantum field. This is what quantum physics teaches us about the universe. And it is knowing that quantum field of energy, that field of infinite possibilities, houses not only everything that I can imagine, but everything that I am yet to imagine. It houses all of the energy in wave form that has ever been born into the universe and that will ever be born into the universe, as well as all of the energy that exists in the universe right now. And even the way that I said that is not strictly speaking accurate, because really all of the energy that ever was and all of the energy that ever will be is here. Like energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So it's all here. That means that the solution to every single problem that I will ever have, that means that the image of myself, any image that I have of myself, and all of the images that I haven't even had the idea to think of exist within the quantum field. That means that the solution to the question of who is it that I get to be in order to be a match for this new goal, or who did I become in order to be a match for this goal? It means that the answer to all of my desires already exists in that quantum space. And that is really, really exciting. And the natural question is, so what? What do we do with that? And so what you also get to remember about the quantum field and quantum science, and even like roll it back a step before that, the power of the human mind, is that we are able to change things in our physiology, in our biology, in our reality with just our intention. Isn't that so wild that it has been proven that if a person sits and imagines in their mind learning how to play the piano, and they sit in a room next to a person who is learning how to play the piano, that the muscles and the tendons and the way that a finger develops with the person who has just been imagining playing is not wildly dissimilar from the person who has been playing, who has been strengthening their fingers, that has been learning the skill set. Isn't that wild? This is why athletes use creative visualization. They will imagine themselves running like the wind. They will imagine themselves getting the slam dunk again and again and again and again, because the mind has no idea when we are creatively visualizing an experience and we combine that with a heightened emotion. The brain has no idea, or I should say the mind has no idea of the difference between what is real and what is imagined. And so simply by the use of my intention, I can connect to the energy of the version of me who has already created what it is that I desire to create. And through my intention, I can imagine how that version of me feels living the life that I would be living, having created what it is that I've created. And for everybody who's like, yeah, I kind of get this, but that's my imagination. It is not real. This is why people like Einstein say that imagination is more important than knowledge. For knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world. If you don't know how to imagine how it feels to be hitting a 10K month, a 50K month, a 100K month, you get to work on your imagination. Pretend that you did know. How might you move through the world? How might you interact with people? And as I was thinking about this for myself, it was like, so how is it that I am going to feel? It is excited. There's a part of me that feels really, really excited about what is happening next. There's a part of me that feels really excited for what has just happened. And at the same time, there is a sense of course, because I intended this, I created this. There is a part of me that feels really deeply playful. Like, how much more fun can I have in creating this existence? There is a part of me that feels a new level of confidence as I walk down the street, knowing this secret this magic secret. Like, I am a master manifester. There is a part of me that feels so deeply grateful and in awe of what we are able to do as conscious manifestors. I feel so delighted to be able to write the equivalent of a check for a really hefty sum to my chosen charity, Love Support Unite. Because it was only a couple of weeks ago that I was writing how I wanted to be able to donate £10,000 to them for this entire year. And now my give goal for them as an organization has exponentially increased because I've hit this goal. I love that about my life. I love being able to give back like that. I was going to finish it off there, but it feels important to say that the other places that I'm looking at is like, how am I interacting with the kids? One of the things that I have found really triggering is the amount of wastefulness that my kids just can't seem to like move through the house, particularly the kitchen, without a huge amount of waste, which I have found deeply triggering. It really activates the frequency of scarcity within me. And one of the big breakthroughs that I had is seeing somebody write, just Googling on the internet, but where there is abundance, there's wastage. Where there is abundance, there is waste. And that was a very, very powerful realization that the reason that my kids are able to waste is because there is abundance in our home. I can either turn that abundance into scarcity, not enoughness, or I can start to get really clever about the way that I reuse the waste that is created. And so as I am hitting this goal, the version of me that is already there has got that bit really nailed in. Like, where there is abundance, there is waste. And the way that I use my waste is so useful, so helpful. Like, there is a real sense of plenty in all that I do because I have learned how to reuse waste in a way that makes me feel even more abundant. And so it's knowing that this is the energy of the version of me who's already created what it is that I desire to create, and then seeing how long I can remember that for every single day. And every time I forget, coming back to that feeling. And that is what I had to do before recording this podcast episode, is step into that feeling and the way that it feels to share with you from this energy. It feels so good. And what I get to release is the knowing of exactly how and when this new goal is going to come into my reality. That the reality also is that I don't even need it when I feel this good, because these are all of the feelings that I desire to tap into once I have what it is that I want to create. I don't need to have the physical manifestation in order to experience that now. And so my only job is to see how much more I can relax into these emotions, relax into these feelings, relax into this knowing. And from that place, follow the nudges. From that place, take action. From that place, be of service. And all of a sudden we're playing a very, very different game. The game is really noticing how many times I fall off, how many times I remember. The game is noticing who is the person who's responding when my kids do triggering things. Is it the old version of me, or is it the version of me who's already created what it is that I desire to create? That's the game. And when I was talking to my sister about this, she was like, yeah, but how do we do it? Do we visualize? Do we journal? Do we do? It's like all of the above. But it starts with a very clear intention. How does that version of me feel? And then choosing to feel that in my body and then operate from that place. So this is the vibe. And you can see that even though this isn't a business episode, this is about what it is that I'm manifesting. You can do this with every single area and element of your business, every single area and element of your life. And this is the mastery So I hope that you have found this episode really rich, really nourishing. And if you have, please do me a favor and share this with a friend. Share this with somebody who you know would benefit and help me spread the word. And if you are looking for some real direct, hardcore, pure business content, I have got something super exciting coming up from the 24th to the 26th of March. I am doing my first 3-day virtual live event, the first one that I've done since 2020, which is amazing. And maybe it was 2021 actually was the last one, which is still incredible. And it is for you if you are an aspiring coach. So this is somebody who is transitioning from corporate or your day job, or you are a healer, you're a therapist, you're a counselor, you're used to working with people one-to-one and you are ready to scale up and you want to do it in a potent, powerful, just a successful way, then I want to invite you to the Pathway to Six Figures, which is our brand new live coaching event. We have got regular tickets and we have VIP tickets. And if you go to susieashworth.com/unlock -6-figures, we'll put the link in below. You can join us for what is going to be quite a remarkable 3 days. And in the meantime, please remember that faith plus action equals miracles.
Thank you for listening to Infinite Receiving with me, Susie Ashworth. I'd love to share with you my Infinite Receiving activation audio. Go to susieashworth.com/activate infinite receiving.